from Studio 6B on a Friday night. Friday night, Slick. Come on, looking good. Fired up. Looking ready for a Friday night.
Oh, my God.
Real America's Voice. What did you say, Delgado?
I don't know what he's ready for.
He's ready for the Liberace reunion, I think, for sure.
That's it.
Slick's going to do some sports. Real America's Voice on a Friday night. Slickster, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big Dick.
Looking slick.
Thank you. Living the dream.
I like that jacket. Those pants. Everything about it.
Pants match.
Looking good. What's the occasion?
One of my friends opened up a new business, a suit shop, so I had to come in with something nice.
Oh, I saw Doug Smith post about this.
Yeah, Tommaso Black, my buddy, right down the block, and I had to go and, what am I going to wear to a suit shop opening? I got to wear something nice, so yeah.
I mean, they must look at you and go, geez, I guess we're not, I mean, we got to step up how are their suits?
He's beautiful. He's got gorgeous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw a couple.
Nothing for you, though.
Do they sell stuff like that?
He has a challenge with me, but he don't have stuff like this.
He has a challenge.
He has a challenge. I'm going to get some stuff that I'll wear to a wake and things like that.
Well, like socks.
Yeah.
Is it related to Roland Tommaso from LA Confidential?
And no, the Tommaso Black, my boy Tommy.
I saw that. I saw Doug Smith post
Doug
about
Smith
that
was
today.
there.
I didn't see you in the picture, Slick, so I didn't realize you were there.
I was there.
I saw nothing shiny in the picture.
I was the one who actually hosted the whole event. So
okay, very good.
That's it.
All right, Slick's going to do some sports. David Zier's here. Mr. Zier, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I had a great day. Getting ready for tomorrow night with the Pastor William Green from New York First Warehouse, Saving America, getting out the black boat, bringing God back into Judeo-Christian ethics, back into our society, and then getting ready for Wisconsin on Sunday.
All right, very good. Lots to talk about there. Rick Delgado's here. He's going to do the news. But more importantly, Friday night means...
Yes.
Pizza Friday.
Pizza Friday.
Pizza Friday.
Exactly.
That's right.
That's right.
And oh, my goodness, it was delicious.
What even is that? 9 o'clock Eastern time. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Mr. Delgado, how are you?
I am good. It's Friday.
It is Friday. How was your day?
I'm baffled. I'm baffled by what I keep seeing throughout the headlines. It went from like 10 or 11 Democrats calling for Joe Biden to step aside. Now it's over 20.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, he did great last night, right? I thought we determined he did. The bar is here, and he did like right here. So he did great, just above the bar, like right there. And they still want him out. I don't understand it. This is supposed to get him the nomination. I thought. I guess I was wrong.
I saw a post today that Nate Silver's plays 538, who I could have swore we just quoted, having a huge disparity between Trump and Biden. I got to go check and see if it's right. I saw a post today that says 538 now has Biden in the lead.
That's great.
There's no way.
Yes,
And that's an aggregate. That can't be right.
no, you know what? I'm all in with what we were talking about last night. We need to keep him in. I know it screws up Slick Rick and I and David our
trip to
Vegas and the Sphere. And
the Sphere there.
Costs you each $1,000 too,
Right.
to me. Yeah.
Oh, did it really? Oh, I didn't remember that part.
But yeah, me either. But that would be the best scenario, going forward. But then, so I think maybe the guys over at 538 they're thinking, hey, screw it, let's just put this out and make sure he stays in because he's taking incoming from all over the place.
I mean, could Kamala be a better situation for the Democrats than Biden against Trump?
Marist.
I mean, she didn't even make it to Iowa.
No. Marist College has Harris beating Trump 50-49.
Oh, they're nuts. Come on.
No, I mean, how can... They're both terrible. She's awful. She's awful. She's an idiot. I mean, she says nothing ever. I mean, no one wants to hear unburdened by what... Nobody wants to hear that over and over again. No one takes her seriously as an... she's not a speaker. She's not going to give any rousing... I mean, they had a chance to show how much she was the future of the party. She didn't make it to Iowa. She polled like skim milk. How could she be a better situation? They're both equally sucky, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah, the suck factor is high.
But she won't... Well, I guess I shouldn't say that because we'll see, because I would assume we'll have a vice presidential debate. She wouldn't crater, I wouldn't think, like he did in that first debate. I don't think you could get that out of her. But she could certainly be made to look like the fool that she is by somebody like J.D. Vance or Vivek or any one of those guys.
Unless she uses Venn diagrams.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to hear about Venn diagrams and how much she likes electric school buses?
Yeah, because she's unburdened by a brain, so who knows what's going to come out of her mouth.
So What Even Is That's coming up tonight, 9 o'clock. What's your What Even Is That about?
A hint. What was my hint the other day?
Feeding frenzy.
Feeding frenzy. I'm going to stick with feeding frenzy.
Okay,
because it seems like it's continued ever since last night, which, again, I'm baffled. I'm dumbfounded that they just keep coming at him. But I think it's interesting that now everybody's talking about the Obama wing of the Democrat Party trying to take out Joe Biden.
Ooh.
And
that means Obama himself.
Yes. Ooh. Because he's got his guy, David Axelrod, out there. He's got his guy, what's his name, George Clooney, pulling up the Hollywood side of things. He's got Axelrod on the DC side of things, and he's just trying to stay out of it, but he can't stay out of it because everybody knows those two are controlled by him. Yeah. And I almost feel like we're being set up.
Well, see, what's interesting is when you say that, you say you see all this incoming today. I see just the opposite. I see a lot of, clips like this tonight on Caitlin Collins' show. And I see a lot of people saying, no. Everybody now needs to put this, everybody on the left needs to stop. They need to stop attacking him. They need to start coming together. This is what I see from people on the left, including David Axelrod, who I think I read last night kind of changed his tune. But just a couple things that I saw today. Here's one of them.
If Joe Biden stays in the race, I'm going to do every single thing I can to defeat Donald Trump. Because as a black woman living in this country that has less constitutional rights than I had from the day that I was born 42 years ago, I refuse to live under Donald Trump's reign again. I refuse to risk our democracy. And Joe Biden is the person right now who is able to defeat him. And so when people are saying, do something to prove that you have the command of the knowledge, and you stand up and you call on 10 reporters and you answer 19 questions for 59 minutes, then I ask you, if you go and say step down, then what is the test that he must prove over and over again? Because then it feels like you, as a person who is calling for him to step down, is being disingenuous. Now, I'm not saying it's not wrong, because that debate was terrible. And Joe Biden has acknowledged that. But as people who are living with the fear of a possible dictator to take over this country, I just ask you, as a Democratic Party, and I'm not super excited about Joe Biden, but I am terrified of Donald Trump, to get it together for the people that you are asked to represent. There is too much at stake. And I don't understand what more people need after a night like tonight to say he is the leader of the free world. I sometimes on television say, if there go I, but for the grace of God, that I am not held to the mistakes I make sometimes on television in the days of my life. And I'm a little annoyed and I'm furious because I talk to black people who have saved this country over and over, who helped elect Joe Biden, who saved the Democratic Party time again. And black people are saying, let it go, folks. And yet again, when you look at the people who have called for him to step down, they are not the backbone of the Democratic Party. And that, to me, is frustrating.
Can I make a psych?
What do you think of that, Delgado?
She doesn't.
Other than she's out of her mind.
She doesn't talk to black people.
What was changed in the Constitution?
I have no idea. Born? She's just making stuff up.
She has less constitutional rights, she said, since she was born. I guess that's a Roe v. Wade deal.
Dude, I'll come at you. And like a spider monkey on this one, I'll retort with Biden told to drop out in haywire meeting with Hispanic Democrats. Oh, that's from today. In Axios, President Biden's meeting with members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus on Friday, that's today, didn't go as planned, with one lawmaker even urging him to drop his reelection bid. According to two sources briefed on the matter, why it matters, it raises a rare instance of a lawmaker actually telling a president to his face in a direct encounter that he should exit the 2024 presidential race. So that coming from the Hispanic caucus.
I got a James Carville cut for you guys later.
Now, everybody saw something different in that press conference last night. What do you think the Reverend Al saw?
Oh, man.
Well,
Money?
here's what
Tawana Brawley anywhere?
here's what he saw.
Change the name.
I looked at the press conference last night and said, where are the black reporters? I mean, we're looking at all whites questioning Biden, and black voters supposed to just get in line. So I think that a lot of the people that are stepping out there are taking things for granted.
So there's always that.
Because they would have been approved different questions. No, they would have submitted the same stupid questions. It doesn't matter what color you are, what creed you are. It doesn't matter.
The press secretary's black. Every day we hear from a black person.
Right.
So.
And the simple fact of the matter is the questions have to be submitted, they have to be approved, and he has to be briefed on all the questions before he gets the question, and you're told you can't deviate from what you've submitted. So it doesn't matter if you're black. If they don't like the question, you ain't asking it.
Here's the possibly the most important headline of the day, and I think it's recently just come out. I don't think it's that old, and that is this. Elon Musk, and I've been saying this for how long? I know he said he wanted to stay on the sideline. He wasn't going to get involved. Well, clearly that's changed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Musk donates to Trump, tapping vast fortune to swing 2024 race. This is a headline in Bloomberg. Tech mogul contributed to group backing Trump in the swing states. Move demonstrates Musk's growing influence in Washington.
Another guy voting with his checkbook.
Might be the most important headline, and I don't know how much attention it's getting tonight, but this is a big deal.
It's huge.
Yep, big. That's big.
This is a big, big deal.
Yep.
Especially because the Biden administration decided to put a target on Musk's back. Remember?
Yes, they have.
It's like, oh, well, I know he talks to world leaders. I remember that press conference, but those things need to be looked at, according to Joe Biden. And then all of a sudden he gets FCC violations pushed his way. Come on, man.
Anyways.
One other post I'll bring to your attention today that went up around what time was this? 4:46 this afternoon.
So Joe was still awake.
Donald Trump Jr. Who is J.D. Vance?
Rhetorical question.
Watch this from his Senate campaign launch.
What a super video.
2 minutes. As we talked about yesterday, they've become pretty close, and you would think he would know about what's going down. JD in the lead.
And that America PAC that Musk donated to has been very powerful.
All right, just getting started on our Friday night. We'll get to your comments. What even is that? Sports news, a busy Friday. We're back right after this. Friday night in the chat. What's going on? Farmer Brooke on X, Edwin on Facebook, Dave on X.
What's up, Chinchilla?
Steven on Facebook, Joe on YouTube. Carol says Marco for VP. No thanks. Dean, looking sharp tonight, guys. Thank you. Tommy Viper, what's going on?
Sandra Trumbo said, Lord, Biden is in Detroit. Save us.
Bonnie Jean, where's the pizza? Well, it's out in the kitchen.
Johnny Blackstocks wants a weed torch update, Rick.
No weed torching today.
Okay.
It was raining, number one, and you know what? What I notice is once you weed torch everything, it stays dead. That's pretty good.
That's kind of
I gotta wait for new weeds to come up and then go.
I need one of those.
You stand out there holding it, ready to go, looking like, where are you?
No, believe it or not, I walk around and I'll look
like
for
Bill Murray and Caddyshack.
I'll
Bucky's fan, what's going on?
I ain't crazy.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, something.
What's up, Bucky?
Try to
Hi,
get
Julie.
the numbers up.
That's Julie.
Hit the thumbs up. Smash the like on Facebook. Subscribe to the channel, please. Hey, Big D, Slick, love the jacket. Allison Johnson said, Slick.
You got to see the underwear.
Thank you.
Allison Johnson lives in Connecticut.
Did you see my underwear?
I didn't.
This guy, Naked Hammer over here.
Slick, bringing Friday night pizza right to the set. I love it. Go ahead.
Aaron, I just want to make sure I didn't miss the cuts email.
Moon pie.
It's
Damon,
coming.
you dissing me? No, not at all.
Yeah, you didn't miss it because I didn't send it yet.
No problem.
Yeah, so relax there, Zir.
I just want to make sure because I've been
They're
having
trying
trouble
to do their
with
job.
my email.
Trying to make you look good.
Right.
That's impossible.
I know. That's why everything's late.
That's why they keep working.
Gee, thanks.
Ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba. What's up, fellas? Anthony on Facebook. What's going on?
Anthony.
It's Prince Spaghetti
Wednesday.
Day.
That's Wednesday. That's not today.
Remember that commercial?
I was on that street
Who doesn't remember
in
that?
Boston.
Yeah. Well, this one over here, he doesn't remember that commercial.
Remember that Prince, the artist, my boy, he sued them because they made Prince. They made like Prince music, and they were playing 1999, and they made a commercial. He actually sued
really?
them. There's a lawsuit.
I saw.
back in '84.
I sat behind Marvin Hagler, saw one of Yastrzemski's last games at the Red Sox, and then we went down the street where they filmed the Prince Spaghetti Day commercial.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you have spaghetti?
Was the kid in the window?
No, he wasn't.
Anthony.
And I went to where they filmed where Cheers was based on the Bull and the Finch.
Peter on Facebook says Aaron needs to talk more. All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. Glad you're in. Slick's going to do some sports. David Zier is going to have some clips and news. Rick Delgado doing double duty. He's going to have the news. Plus, what even is that 9 p.m. feeding frenzy? Fins up. That's coming up. Well, I always like the Jimmy Buffett deal, so fins up. Anybody... Any parrot heads out there know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the late, great Jimmy Buffett, right? Oh, we lost him.
I'm still not over it.
No, I believe it.
17 past the hour. Let's do some sports. Slick Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Use our code LFS6B if you shop at MyPillow. Great savings on all the great stuff from Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, Big D. Well, Genesis.
Besides you going on.
Going on.
You got it going on.
Come on. Genesis Scottish Open, Big D. Round 2 today. I don't know if you're keeping track of it at all. Have you been following it? Have you been tracking golf at all? Scottish Open? Genesis?
No.
Well, Ludwig Aberg.
I love him, though. Man, he's got he's got a swing that if you're trying to teach your kids to golf, that's a kid to watch right there.
Pure. Yep. Well, he shot at 12 under earlier today, so looking good there. And 12 under for 2 days. Excuse me, 2 days scored 12 under. Still a damn good score. And we got Wimbledon. And earlier today, Carlos Alcaraz defeated Daniil Medvedev 7-6, 6-3, 6-4, 6-4. So, and of course, Djokovic is moving on as well. So we got an Alcaraz Nikolai Djokovic final on Sunday. Djokovic took care of Musetti earlier today, 6-4, 7-6, 6-4. And so good stuff there. And those both finals at center court. And we have the Sunday will be the finals. We'll have a full recap on Monday. Major League Baseball scores. Tigers over the Dodgers, 3-2, bottom 6. Top 6, Athletics over the Phillies, 4-2. Rays blanking the Guardians right now, 2-0, top of the 6th. Yankees over the Orioles, 3-1 down in Baltimore, bottom of the 4th. Bottom 4, Mets lead the Rockies, 6-2. David Zia, the Mets are starting to play a little bit. Yeah. Royals over the Red Sox, 5-1, top of the 5th. Reds over the Marlins, 7-3 in Cincy, bottom of the 4th. Wait till their bullpen gets a hold of that one. Pirates and White Sox, no score, bottom 1st. Top 1st, we have the Rangers and Astros, no score. Nationals over the Brewers, 1-0, top of the 1st inning. They got a man on 2nd, looking to add to that total. Cubs and Cardinals, no score, top 1st. Later tonight, we have the Mariners and the Angels out west, 9:38, and Braves and Padres, 9:40. And last but not least, Blue Jays taking on Arizona, the Diamondbacks in Arizona. Where else? 9:40. And the Twins, well, not unless, but the Twins and Giants. Giants have those really late games. 10:15, San Francisco Giants hosting the boys from Minnesota. Big D, did you see the ESPYs last night? Well, we missed it. We were on the show.
No.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to that Serena Williams story in a minute. But Charles Barkley, time for Joe Biden to pass the torch to a younger generation. Dylan Gwynn and Breitbart. Charles Barkley. He's very mild-mannered, doesn't speak too much. Anyway, Dylan Gwynn and Breitbart, Joe Biden hopes to rebound from last month's poor debate performance. However, the round mound of rebound himself, Charles Barkley, would prefer to see him sit this play out. Barkley, a liberal and robust critic of President Trump, made his thoughts on Biden's age and mental decline known while competing at the American Century Championship in Lake Tahoe. I just feel sadness, Barkley lamented. Barkley's an awful golfer, too, by the way. You got the greatest country in the world, and I have nothing but admiration and respect for President Biden, but it's time for him to pass the torch to a younger generation. He's been a great person, a great man. This ain't nothing I'm saying now. I've said it like a year ago. It's time for him to pass the torch.
Well, he's been neither of those, Charles. Neither of those ever in his entire career or life has he been either one of those. He's a nasty old guy, and he always has been.
Well, Barkley continued. He's one of the greatest people I've ever been fortunate to be around in my life, but it's time to pass the torch. No one should be confused about Barkley's voting intentions. However, Barkley is still considering a vote for Trump. Listen, President Trump, I would never vote for somebody who had that mentality. You should always have respect for whoever's in the presidency. I get mad at these sports teams. Some of these bozos won't visit the White House because it's a Democrat or Republican in there. That is stupid. It's the President of the United States. We should always admire that office no matter who is in there. Democrats, elected and unelected, repeatedly call for Biden not to seek re-election. Well, we know all about that. But anyway, despite the outcry, I sound like Biden now, right? Anyways, despite that outcry from his party, Biden has communicated that he has no intention of stepping down. So, Big D, I don't think you're rooting. You want Biden to run this election because you feel that we got a great shot at winning because you want to keep Joe in there. We don't need any new shiny toys coming up, right? You've been saying that last couple of nights. But Charles Barkley disagrees with you.
Well, he just he would support Kamala.
Yeah.
That's who he wants. I have no fear of her either. She's an idiot.
All right. I don't think
the Democrat Party had the chance to show us what they thought of her, and they could have picked her over Joe. If you remember, she smacked Joe around on the debate stage. By the way, I hear that's what Dr. Jill can't get over. And that's one of the reasons that she hates her, too.
Oh.
That's the word, that they don't like each other. And the reason she doesn't like her is because of what she did to him on the debate stage. She lit him on like a weed torch. Remember?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of passing the torch, like what Charles is calling for, he's the weed torch.
Yeah, she lit him up like Delgado lights up the weed torches that is on his patio.
Right.
About the busing and all the other stuff.
She did. The wheels on the bus go.
And Dr. Jill has never let it go.
Nope. She never let it go.
So she's not gonna let old Oatmeal Chin give it up for her. No way.
No question about it.
So,
all right, it's a wrap in sports there, Big D. Back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. We'll do some more sports with Slick coming up before the top of the hour. What even is that coming up at 9 o'clock? But right now, Delgado's got the news. News is brought to you by 7Cells, 7cells.com. What's going on?
All right, well, there's a variety of directions I could go here, depending on my time. But let's just go north. This way with CNN.
South?
Actually doing journalism, which is crazy. They're now fact-checking Joe Biden. Believe it or not. I don't know if you saw this, but they ran this huge piece, fact check, Biden's false and misleading claims at high-stakes news conference. We're talking about the conference we saw last night. President Joe Biden, there's the headline. See, they are doing it. President Biden last night on a solo news conference.
It doesn't look like CNN. Is that CNN's site?
Yeah, if you go up to the top, I circled it up top there.
Okay.
The NATO summit in Washington seeking to reassure voters' concerns about his ability to serve, and Democratic officials concerned about his ability to defeat Donald Trump. They started fact-checking his speech. He played down his gaffe from earlier, calling Vladimir Zelensky President Putin before correcting himself. Let's see. According to this, Biden's travels. Biden spoke of a need to pace himself. I remember that from last night.
Yeah, sure.
The next debate, I'm going to be not going to be traveling to 15 time zones a week before.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what that's about.
Come on.
Facts first. According to CNN, this is misleading. Biden did not travel abroad a week before June 20th. 27th debate,
really?
in which he performed poorly. In fact, he returned from the U.S. 12 days before that debate on June 15th.
He didn't go to 15 time zones?
No, he didn't go to 15 time zones. I don't even know if there are 15 time zones.
I don't think there are. So I'm shocked they have to tell us this.
Yes, they also reported what Trump said about NATO. Biden criticizing NATO's position on the NATO military alliance said, I think he said at one of his rallies, don't hold me to this, recently, where NATO, I just learned about NATO, or something to that effect. Facts first, it says, again, from CNN. Biden's description of Trump's comment was indeed inaccurate, which means false. Yeah. Trump did not say at a recent rally that he just learned about NATO. Rather, said at a rally that he had not known what NATO was back in 2017 too much prior to attending his first alliance summit as president in 2017. So that's what he was talking about. Also, they make mention of Hamas and the West Bank, talking about the war between Israel and Hamas. Biden said last night, there's a growing dissatisfaction in and on the West Bank from Palestinians about Hamas. Hamas is not popular now. Again, they correct him. Limited available public opinion shows the Hamas is not popular now is not true, and that Hamas popularity has actually increased since the attack on Israel last October. So that's just a few of the facts first that they went through. It's a long article.
To check the presidents have had lower ratings at this point. Lower than me.
I checked it out for you last night.
That's got to be nonsense.
No incumbent has ever won who has lower ratings.
There you go.
All right, we're back. More news coming up right after this.
Got it. Got it.
I got a text from Joe the Box.
Joe the Box.
Joe the Box?
Yeah.
What's up with Joe the Box?
He said, you are a stud. Here's a picture of me he sent me.
Everybody likes the way your head,
I know.
your head placement there.
I love Joe.
Joe the Box.
Dave will be there tomorrow night at Joe's house, right? Man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're live there tomorrow night, huh?
Yeah. Now, is that on the network? That can be on the network, or is this your own?
They take that live, or you're just taping it?
No, we're going to film it. I'm going to box it up. I'll do stuff with it. Yeah.
We're going to sell a box set? I'm in town all week.
I'm trying to find that 6B show from 3 years ago, Moon Pie. Which one?
That doesn't really narrow it down, does it?
What are these?
I wonder if like a specific segment.
What are these lunatics saying? Joe Biden had a body double. That Tucker Carlson said that Joe was a body double in the speech.
Well, yeah, isn't there like he's got like 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, but not making speeches on TV.
I've been hearing that all the time.
It's crazy. I don't think Tucker really said that. I hope he didn't say that.
Oh, you're talking about Jerry Nadler's Crazy Town? I can pull that up. I have access to that. We can play that in the next. We'll play that in the next break. I think I can pull that up. The Jerry Nadler Crazy Town, Delgado.
Oh yeah.
We'll play that in the next break.
Damon, can I email you a 5-second clip of Georgia Maloney rolling her eyes at Biden being late to NATO?
I have it somewhere.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Thought that was funny.
I'm back.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
All right, where am I at?
Abra.
That's Steve Miller.
Yeah, I point.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. Slick's doing sports. David Zier is going to do some news coming up here in a second. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. What even is that? Coming up 9 p.m. Make sure you stay tuned for that. But let's do some more news right now. News is brought to you by our friends at 7cells, 7cells.com. And Rick Delgado's got it. What's going on?
All right. Well, bunch of different things that I came across today. One of which is the I thought he was dead.
No, he just did a press conference last night.
No. not that old guy. This old guy from, I think it was NBC. I'm not even sure where he used to work, or CNN. Chris Wallace I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, he's not that old, is he?
Is he?
He's
No,
like
Chris Matthews, not Chris Wallace. Chris Matthews.
Oh, well, Chris Matthews isn't that old either.
No.
Well, I think you'll change your mind when you see this. It looks like
70.
he doesn't own a comb or a hairbrush either.
Oh, he never has.
He kind of came out in defense of his fellow old guy. You can check it out right here. Cut number 10. Here's Chris Matthews rising from the dead to pitch Biden onward and upward. Here you go.
He's been good at it. He's been reelected every time since then in Delaware with pretty healthy majorities. In life, he lost his wife and he lost his daughter, and he found Jill. Now, who's he going to listen to, Jill
Yeah, he found
or George Clooney? I'm telling you, it's personal. He's had the elite, and it's so true about the elite. He is absolutely right about the elite. Look at President Obama. He served for 8 years loyally, and yet Obama backed Hillary Clinton for president and didn't back him. But I hear he never even invited him upstairs. He had a good reason to be resentful, but he isn't. He puts up with it with the elite. But right now, he's got the poor people. He's got minorities. He's got Hispanics. He's going to put out the labor. He's going to hold that base of the Democratic Party, which he will need in November. And I'm telling you, people are going to end up rooting for him in October because he will have a comeback. And in this elite-fashioned attack on him, they're going to pay for it. But in the end, they're going to end up voting for him. So I think Biden will be the little guy. He'll be the Democrat in this race, the true Democrat. And he's going to get people to turn for him in October. It's going to be stunning. He is not quitting. He is not built to quit. That's what I think. And I think it's the most important thing we're going to resolve.
Yeah. It's the most important thing.
I mean, what part of that do you argue with? Other than the fact that he acts as if he's not part of the elite.
Right.
Besides that, I mean, I think he's probably right.
I just think it's funny. I thought the guy was dead. Who knew? Is he even on the network anymore?
No,
he's not. I didn't think so. That's why I never.
Although he's showing up there more and more now,
right?
So I don't know if he doesn't have a primetime show. That's been off for years, but I don't know.
He's 78 years old.
Oh wow!
That's
Can you believe that? Right.
All right. I thought he was older.
Yeah, a little whiter than. I mean, pretty much looks the same to me. That as he did. I mean, other than the hair's gone a little more white and silver, but 5 more years, I'll be saying the same thing about me probably. So
I find it interesting. We seem to have been inundated with a new word for us to all to gobble down. It's called the elite. They're now admitting that they are elite, right? They're kind of throwing it out there. The whole time we've talked about it and we've made reference to it, and they never acknowledged it. It's almost like the deep state, right? And then all of a sudden, a couple months ago, the New York Times comes out with an article saying, "Well, there is a deep state, and maybe that's a good thing."
Yeah.
So it's the same. It's the same with this. The elite. All of a sudden, now it's the elite trying to take out Joe Biden. Meanwhile, speaking of the elite, Team Biden. This is coming from Business Insider. Team Biden suspects, as we've been talking about, that it's Team Obama that is backing the efforts to have Biden step aside, according to reports. They're of course pointing to Biden's poor debate performance, leading to increased calls from the dropout. A number of people in Obama's circle, including his former aides, David Axelrod, and his friend George Clooney, have criticized Biden. Former President Barack Obama, it says here, according to this article, may be quietly supporting or at least not objecting to the Democratic push to oust Joe Biden, according to multiple reports. On a Thursday morning broadcast of Morning Schmo, a personal favorite show of Biden's, Joe Scarborough said that the Biden team believes Obama is supporting the Democratic revolt against Biden's reelection campaign. He said what's going on behind the scenes is the Biden campaign and many Democratic officials do believe Barack Obama is quietly working behind the scenes to orchestrate this, according to Morning Joe. His wife, Mika, chimed in. She says, I think Barack Obama has a lot of influence, and there's a lot there. Even since Biden's disastrous debate performance, where he struggled to formulate thoughts, repeatedly trailed off mid-sentence, and appeared confused at times, there have been growing calls from top Democrats for him to drop out, including major Democratic donors and Hollywood actor George Clooney joining that sense of doubt on Wednesday when he published his New York Times op-ed urging Biden to step aside. So you've got that. That is also running in Politico as well. So it seems to be a coordinated thing going on behind the scenes. And again, I feel like this is just all too perfect, right? Why is Obama doing this?
Because we know what he wants.
What does he want? He needs someone to beat Trump. That's what he needs.
Yep.
And he doesn't think, well, I think we all know.
He needs his person in there.
Yeah, Joe is not going to be able to pull this off.
So I'm on Nate Silver. I'm on 538 right now. And as of today, he's got Biden 270, Trump 268. And that's he had Trump 278, Biden 260 just a week ago, July 5th, the day after the debate. 278 to 260 the day after the debate, and today it's Biden 270, Trump 268.
Excuse me.
And this is on his daily forecast that updates at least once a day whenever they get new data.
Right. Real Clear Politics average has Trump up 2.9 nationally in the aggregate, I believe.
And then to kind of put a bow on this, you've got the her testimony that they still are trying to get. Anna Paulina Luna trying to get Merrick Garland.
Yeah, how'd that go for her? Welcome to the Republican Party.
Yeah, with 4 Republicans voting with Democrats to make sure that didn't happen. 2 from California, 2 from Ohio, of all places. And
a bunch who didn't vote, if I remember.
Yeah, a bunch of people that weren't available to vote. They're going to bring it up again, try a second round. We'll see what happens. But it brings me to a theory, Damon. I have a theory. You want to hear it? Of course you do. About the her tapes. You know how we keep saying we're not going to release the audio tapes? We're not going to release the audio tapes?
I know exactly where. I mean, he just reads you like a book.
Where am I going?
You're going to tell me that they're going to drop them to get rid of Biden at the right time when they need to.
Yes, and guess who's going to tell Merrick Garland to do that?
That's his last guess.
The guy he tried to put on the
Jeffrey
Supreme
Epstein.
Court.
Oh.
The guy who, remember,
Still hanging around.
Merrick Garland, he's an Obama guy. Obama tried to get him on the Supreme Court, didn't work, right?
Yep.
So he still owes him that debt of gratitude, and he's going to pay it back. He's holding it back till they need it. Mm-hmm. And here's what I think as well. I don't think it's audio tapes that they're hiding. It's video.
Whoa.
You know why? Because I watch Suits. And I know every deposition on Suits, they run the videotape. As a matter of fact, even when President Trump was deposed, they ran videotape. Cut number 11. Check it out for yourself. Do you remember this one?
When you said in that video that Ms. Leeds would not be your first choice, you were referring to her physical looks, correct?
Just the overall. I look at her, I see her, I hear what she says.
Example.
Whatever. You wouldn't be a choice of mine either, to be honest with you. I hope you're not insulted. I would not, under any circumstances, have any interest in you. I'm honest when I say it. I would not have any interest in.
So there you have it. That's why I think they're playing games. They're playing games with these audio tapes because they're actually videotapes, which would be even more devastating for the Biden campaign. So that's my theory. I think we will see those tapes. They're going to be videotapes, and they're going to be released after Joe has been secured the nomination.
Nominated, yeah.
Okay. What season are you on Suits?
Season 6.
Oh, well, wait till you get through the new one.
All right.
Oh, man. So good. All right. Very good, Delgado. What even is that coming up at 9 p.m.? What?
I'm a big Donna fan.
Oh, Donna. Come on.
Donna.
How can you not be? Wait till you see what happens in this new season that just ended. I just finished it all, so I know everything. Do you want me to tell you?
No.
Okay.
Suit
All
yourself.
right, let's do some news with the host of Breaking Point, 8 a.m. Saturday mornings. And that, of course, is David Zier. Mr. Zier, what's going on?
What's up, guys? We have cut number 7, James Carville asking Biden to step aside, pretty much.
Well, what do you think Nancy Pelosi and Jim Clyburn, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, maybe Hakeem Jeffries, what do you think they're up to?
Harry did that.
I think they're mortified. I think they want to make a change. I think they see the path that we're on. People like President Biden for good reason. He's a very personable man. He has an incredible record. He is right. There's no one that has close to the experience he has in foreign policy. But the torch passes to different generations. And the Democratic Party has got to refurbish itself. And we're losing young people like doesn't hardly exist anymore. And people are crying for change. And we're telling them that you can't have that. It's not good for you. Or you don't have the details flushed out yet. I got to see a better plan in this. I mean, think about it. You know exactly what Donald Trump wants us to do. You know precisely what Steve Bannon wants us to do. And we're hell-bent on pleasing them. And I think it's a big mistake. I thought it was. I still do. And I'm highly unlikely to change my mind because of some namby-pamby technical reasons about how you put a town hall together.
James?
Yeah, and then cut 6, Jon Stewart. Biden couldn't get a job in basic retail.
Think that you are soft-selling the more fundamental aspect of people viewing somebody who, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I don't know of a job interview that you could have gone on and delivered the performance that was delivered by Joe Biden and gotten a job. And I'm not talking about the presidency. I'm talking about like cashier at Home Depot, like a job that you would not think, okay, that is the hardest job in the entire world.
Yeah.
You know what I love about this stuff? It's the left eating their own.
Yeah.
You know, before that debate performance, they were all rah, Joe. He's going to beat him again. Oh, my goodness, this is going to be great. The economy's doing great. You guys just don't realize. They were just selling us piles and piles of dog do. And of course, the liberals, the people that don't think for themselves, they just read a headline and go, they were buying it. And then they saw 90 minutes of cheap fake and were like, oh, my God, this is real.
And they're just liars in general. There's no doubt about that.
Well, now, of course, they're just trying to, see which one of them can get out in front of it. Like, they're just, which one can get the most out in front of, yeah, we want Joe Biden gone and we kill, it's just like every one of them now is running to every camera they can to get on the, oh, yeah, I said he's got to step aside.
Yeah, we were saying this for years.
Because now that it's out there and they know they can't hide it, they're like, whoa, I've got to get in front of the camera the most possible and make it seem like I was, ahead of the crowd here.
And Damon, I got videos of Biden in Michigan today and more great stuff for you.
All right, we'll do those when we get back live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. All right, Aaron, throw up my screen here. This is for Moon Pie, who requested, I believe, this segment. 22, Crazy Town. Roll that.
That's where it happened.
Congresswoman Maloney, I want to join the distinguished chairman in acknowledging legislation of other members of Congress that are contained in the chairman's legislation that they are putting forth, and chairwoman's. And I also want to acknowledge Maxine Waters is doing some very important work on this subject. Our democracy. That leads deal to the distinguished chairwoman, Governor.
Okay.
The background put his mask back on.
So to the audience here, the live from Studio 60 audience is a very smart audience. Very well thought through things. They can tell when they watch things what's going on. I want you to weigh in right now on social media. We're going to hold our opinions to ourselves.
Come on, social media.
We want you to we want you right now on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Periscope, wherever you're watching the show. Log in here and tell us, did inquiring minds want to know, Jerry Nadler here, what is going on there with Speaker Pelosi on the stage there? The little dance there.
This reminds me of an old Opie and Anthony gag called "What's in Your Pants."
Yeah, well, so we want the audience. Let's just go right to you here. We want you to weigh in here on Chairman Nadler.
That was my mistake.
Something's clearly going on there. So if he, we've had Eric Swalwell on air have some problems. So we're wondering if he Swalwelled himself here. I guess is the best way to put it. So the audience will, I'm sure, creatively weigh in here and let us know what they think.
Now, can we play it again? Because I think I spot the moment it happened.
Wait, yes. No. And we need to give Rick one of those telestrators like they have in the football games. So we can
yeah.
No, we don't need.
I can marker it up. It'd be awesome.
No, we don't know that. No, you're not following the rules, Delgado. All right, well, we'll hold it there. We'll pick it back up.
Man, that was 100 years ago.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, July 12th. Real America's Voice. Slick's doing sports. David Zier is doing the news. Delgado's got the news, plus What Even Is That coming up at 9 o'clock. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Let's get back to David Zier. He's got some more news. Of course, he's the host of Breaking Point tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. right here on Real America's Voice. Mr. Zier, what's going on?
Well, while we are on Joe Biden in Michigan, I believe all three of these cuts are of him today in Michigan. Cuts 3, 4, and 5.
The governor didn't join him.
Them together.
Really?
Yeah.
Who else from Michigan didn't join him? There was like 2 or 3 main people from Michigan you thought would have been with him. None of them were.
Yeah, I didn't see who was there or not, but
so Grady Gretchen wasn't there, huh?
No.
Wow.
But he did embarrass himself again.
Oh, good.
And so I decided I wasn't going to get engaged in public. I wasn't going to run again. I had been vice president. I was a full professor at the University of Pennsylvania at the time. And what happened was that I was going to stay out of it. But then what happened was, remember down in Charlottesville, Virginia, when those folks came out of the woods carrying torches and Nazi banners and literally singing the same Nazi, same song sung in Germany in the 30s. And a young woman was killed who was a bystander. And that young woman I talked to the mother. And the press contacted Trump and asked him, they said, well, what do you think? He said, there were very good people on both sides. Very good people. And honest to God, that's when I decided to run.
What a nonsense story.
When Debbie and I
Debbie Dingbat in the back there.
Years, I think we made a lot of
15
progress.
people that showed up.
We made a lot of progress.
Awesome.
I remember everybody, hi, how are you? How old are you?
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God.
Remember, no serious guys.
What is he doing? Okay? He's doing it again.
I told it to my daughter and granddaughter. It hadn't worked yet, but I'm working on it. But anyway, but we have real opportunities. Real opportunities. And so we got to finish the job, and I promise you,
Anyways.
I am.
Anyways,
I'm okay.
The idea.
Yeah, it seems it.
Yeah,
it seems
that's
you're
reassuring.
fine. Oh, yeah.
The
while he
idea
was
that
there-
he thinks he can outdraw Trump a crowd.
The idea.
I think two more people came out from the Democratic Party against him after that appearance. But, this is the garbage that's going on. He talks about Charlottesville. Just a note here. I forgot the guy's name, but he supposedly heads the Patriot Front, which is total baloney, guys. Don't believe this group for a minute. He's the same guy who led that fake Nazi torch march through the campus of UVA back in the Charlottesville. So that's what's going on with the Patriot Front here. And I just want to give you guys, I got more stuff for you, but I just wanted to tell you really quick about fast food inflation. Zero Hedge has a great article today about how much fast food has gone up since 2014 to 2024. And I think most of those increases are probably COVID and post-COVID. McDonald's, 100% on 10 different menu items in 10 years. And usually you see inflation like double, like the pizza index every 20 years, right?
Wow.
So Popeyes, 86%, Taco Bell, 81%, Chipotle, 75%, JJ's, I think that's a sub shop, 62%, Wendy's, 55%, Arby's 55%, Chick-fil-A 55%, Burger King 55%, Panera 54%. So, this is the impact of the kind of government we had. And I just wanted to add, I sell property. I've been a commercial broker for a long time. And I have a deal that is pending. And now they might not build it. It's like $1 million commission to our company that we've been waiting for 12 years because of inflation and the cost to build the project. It's probably not going to happen. I blame you directly, Biden, and all of you evil Democrats who have this ridiculous COVID policies and destroyed the economy because this project was supposed to give an 8% return to its investors, and now it's about 4%. And they may cancel it and scrub it. And you're directly impacting my life and my business, and I can personally testify to what a lousy president you are. But I'm not bitter. So that's what's going on.
Thank you for those nuggets.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure that is not a. I'm sure that your situation is not unique to you guys, and every builder around the country.
We see it every day.
Is seeing it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. PPI, by the way, this morning was not good. PPI came in hot this morning. CPI came in ice cold yesterday, which is the more important one. But producer price index, what the people that you buy your stuff from are paying is still hot. PPI this morning was hotter than they thought it was going to be. And again, I don't think it's as important as CPI was yesterday, and that came in at negative year over year, whatever it was. So that was a very good reading. But PPI this morning was a little hotter than people thought it would be. So.
Well, doesn't one kind of feed off the other? Like the PPI is now going to affect what we'll see with consumer prices, because if they're paying more, inevitably that's going to end up it's going to reflect it in the price the consumers are going to pay.
You would think that, but what was weird about the PPI, it was all trade based increases.
Yeah.
So it was all based on trade that the U.S. was doing with other places in the world. This report was all of what seemed like where the things were hot in the report was all trade based. It was a very strange report, but it was hotter than normal. But the CPI yesterday was really, really good. So we want that trend to continue. So
yeah.
All right, very good. David Zero will have some more news in hour 2. Let's do a little more sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the code to use. Slickster, what's going on?
Friday Night Rodeos, what's going on? We got the Calgary Stampede. Big D, one of the largest rodeos of the year, started in July 5th and rolls right through this Sunday with the finale. This is the Calgary Stampede Arena in, of course, Calgary, Alberta, up in Canada. Bareback riding. We are now in Pool C. First round, Dean Thompson, 87 points on Calgary Stampede's Flapjack. He picked up $7,000. That's some serious number for one round. Steer wrestling also Pool C. We have a tie. Brigger Anderson and Tristan Kalawaya, 4.1 seconds. Saddle Bronc, Logan Hay, 89.5 points on Calgary Stampede's Exciting Bubbles. Tie down roping. We have Corey Solomon, 8 seconds flat, picked up $7,000 as well. Barrel racing. We have Haley Kinzel, 16.94 tenths. Good time there, $7,000. Bull riding as well. Chase Dougherty, 87.5 points on Smoke Bomb, picked up $9,083. Total payout on this rodeo, $1.8 million. So, Big D, I asked you if you got a chance to tune into the ESPYs last night. You said negative.
No.
Well, you got good old Serena Williams was out in rare form, of course, taking a dig at our good friend Caitlin Clark. Serena Williams on Caitlin Clark. White people are really crazy about you. This is Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. Serena Williams has been one of Caitlin Clark's most prominent supporters, and she's not afraid to point out that the rest of the WNBA rookie Phenoms fans are white people who are really crazy about her. The tennis legend hosted the ESPYs in L.A. on Thursday night. In her opening monologue, she celebrated Clark for the 3 nominations she received. However, she also noted Clark's popularity with a particular group of fans. Caitlin Clark has had an amazing year and is nominated for 3 awards. Caitlin, you are the Larry Bird in that you are an amazing player. You have ties to Indiana, and white people are really crazy about you. The joke
you said
came
this
off
on the broadcast?
Yeah. It was part of her opening monologue. I'm sure she was probably being a little tongue-in-cheek, but even so, really was off color. No pun intended. The joke came off very well, and the audience immediately responded with laughter. Williams has voiced support for Clark, telling the AP last month that the animosity directed at her stems from professional jealousy. I just love what she tried to say, that she tried to stay grounded and that she doesn't look at her social media. Williams said it at the Tribeca Film Festival, and anyway, she went on to talk about, what have you. But unbelievable. Yeah, so she did say that. That was a little out, and then throwing Larry Bird in there, that was like very racist. I mean, I'm sure if it was the other way around, it would have been all over the media. But of course, you got to find it in Breitbart and dig for it. It's a wrap.
She went after that guy too, who was talking about family.
She did. The kicker, yeah. Harrison Butker. You're right. I have that story too, David. You're right.
What even is that coming up?
Coming up. We're in the chat. Chatting.
What even is that? Just
we're in the chat chatting.
Less than 3 minutes away.
Let me
according to Ultra Mega Lojo on the Getter chat, are you buying into the new flat earth conspiracy? I don't know.
That sounds like a Delgado.
I have to look into that one.
Of course you do.
It's just over the horizon.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? Because they say that you should be able to see a curvature, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was looking at pictures from the top of Mount Everest, and you don't see the curvature. I'm like, you would think you would be able to see it from that point, because that's pretty freaking high.
Yeah, how about when you're up
but I guess I don't really see it.
What about when you're in orbit? Can you see it then?
Where? In orbit? Yeah, I don't know.
Sure you can.
Weren't you in orbit earlier today?
I was. I'll be there again later.
Exactly.
You know what?
I'm a nut.
I like that song. How about that?
That's a great song. That's a classic. I'm a nut.
Yeah, Farmer Brook. I haven't seen it. I will look into it. Maybe I'll have something on it for Monday.
Didn't you have a learning curve when you were in school?
No, mine was kind of flat. Damon's making faces.
They're getting all fired up.
I'm not doing anything.
I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I'm like watching the live stream.
Thank God somebody is.
Oh, you are? Damn.
I saw you take off your glasses.
As soon as I hear you go, oh, well, Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Really? Is it that bad?
No.
Come on. Question everything. Question everything.
think my computer's getting back.
See? David's got questions about his computer.
That's right.
What do we have, 20 seconds?
Aaron, I hear you laughing.
35.
She's like, I know. Shh. You're laughing because it's true. All right. What am I doing? What
are we doing here?
Oh, top of the hour.
Top of the hour.
Oh,
Top
snap.
of the hour.
Is that now?
Thank God.
What even
Son
is
of a-
that right now?
I thought it would never get here.
Son of a...
I mean, after all this time, this better be good.
Oh, my God. It better not suck.
No pressure.
You're killing me now.
Live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, July 12th, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Slick Rick's doing sports. David Zier's doing the news. Rick Delgado's got the news as well. But more importantly, what even is that? Coming up here in a second, Aaron and Friend holding it down as always. I want to remind you to follow us on our social media at LFS6B, Facebook, YouTube, X, Kick, Instagram, LFS6B Show. All social media, you can find us everywhere. Make sure you follow us and subscribe and like and share and comment and get involved with the social media. It helps us continue to grow the numbers. Head over to livefromstudio6b.com. Make sure you sign up as a member over there on the site where you can get everything. All of our video clips, old clips. We were just watching in this in the commercial break. We were just watching an old Crazy Town about Jerry Nadler. If you want to see that, all those kind of old clips, Crazy Towns, are all over at livefromstudio6b.com. And of course, what even is that's in all of our merch and everything. So make sure you head over there and sign up as a member as well. Lots to do still on an hour or two Friday. Some news to get to. Can they cheat a dementia suffering patient back into the White House? That is the question that J. Robert Smith asks in the American Thinker today. So if we have some time, we'll get to that. Biden was in Michigan today, as David Zier showed us, just fumbling his way around. And are we getting closer to an announcement of a vice presidential pick from President Trump? And is it going to be the junior senator from Ohio? J.D. Vance. That's where everyone's looking. Donald Trump Jr.'s tweet today also set people looking in that direction even more. We told you last night that someone high up, well, it was from someone from the American Thinker, went on record for the first time saying that he heard that J.D. Vance is the choice and that Donald Trump Jr. and him are very close. And then you see this tweet today from him and you think, So we'll see how it plays out. Lots to do. But right now, it's time for one of my new favorite segments here on the show.
Oh, my goodness. So much pressure.
Right now, it's time for one of my new favorite segments here right on the show. I think you'll enjoy it as well. Slick, pay attention. David, here we go. And that, of course, is Rick Delgado with what?
Even is that?
Even is that?
David can't wait for it to be over with as well. All right. Hey,
take it, Rick.
Thank you, Damon.
You're welcome.
And, well, you could say it's been like, a month since I've had a chance to do another edition of What Even Is That? Well, you would be correct.
What the hell is even that?
Yeah, I know. Exactly. I'm sorry. What can I do? But between holidays and Rav special programming and, of course, Cheech over here with the detached retinas.
I'm blind!
There wasn't much I could do. But as you can tell, things are getting back to normal. So game on.
All right.
And believe you me, I've had plenty of topics ready to go. But, as we proudly exited June and now we have entered the month of July, all those cool and oddly funny topics seem to, well, as a fisherman I might say, just chum the waters for what's to come.
I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chum some of this shit.
Yeah, and if on cue, that seems to be the thought for the Biden-Harris campaign because following the debate, it has turned into Shark Week. Right.
Eating friends.
But this isn't the one on Discovery Channel, and it ain't hosted by John Cena.
No.
Yeah, that's right. There's blood in the water in D.C., kids. And, well, ever since that debate with Donald Trump 2 weeks ago, now...
The total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Yes. Now, Shark Week, from that point on, has been going on 24 hours a day, nonstop from all over D.C. and the mainstream media. But all Joe and his crime-ridden family can keep doing is ignoring reality.
You are familiar with our problems. I think that I am familiar with the fact that you are going to ignore this particular problem until it swims up and bites you on the ass.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happening because the sharks on the left didn't even wait till the morning after the debate to start. And you know who I'm thinking about? Well, because as soon as Joe went into the debate cove and started splashing around in the water, Joe's pals, who have propped him up, covered him up, and lied to the American people for the last 3.5 years, took their first bites.
A real concern here tonight that there's been some real damage done that cannot be undone.
Yeah.
Biden solidified the perception among voters, but especially among his base. They were hoping that tonight would be a game changer. They are now seeing a president who is in the White House, who they do not necessarily believe can do this for another 4 years.
Yeah, that cage of protection he had around him is now gone. And the sharks, well, they're coming from all over. And when I say all over, I really mean, Joe, it's all over. I mean, from Jake Tapper on CNN, who even hosted the debate.
He's proud to be the first black woman. Not coherent.
Yeah, to the stunned and mournful Morning Joe, who didn't even show up for work for a couple days after it and left it to Mika at MSNBC.
It was bad. He said, we quote, we beat Medicare. He couldn't seem to land a thought. It was an unmitigated disaster by any measure.
Yes, and then, of course, over on ABC, little Georgie Stephanopoulos even took his bite.
But it seemed like you were having trouble from the first question in, even before he spoke.
Believe me, I haven't even mentioned all the rest. We're talking about the New York Times, the Washington Post, the LA Times, Time Magazine, Politico, Media Buzz, the Huffington Post, and every other left-wing rag and website out there. But it didn't end there, and it still hasn't stopped because, well, the sharks are circling that dinghy called the Biden campaign.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah. At this point, he's going to need a boat the size of a Carnival cruise ship to try and survive this attack. And even then, he still might end up looking like Leon Klinghoffer. Joe's also getting it from the sycophants. You know, his friends on shows like The Cackling Hens that we call The View on ABC. Check out this headline. Or his buddy Stephen Colbert on his dumb show that nobody watches on CBS, where Colbert actually said Joe Biden debated as well as Abraham Lincoln, if you dug him up right now. And he's even getting it from the guy who probably wishes he stayed retired, Jon Stewart, from The Daily Show.
Then, of course, to be fair, State of the Union. Concern dropped a little bit at the State of the Union. He kind of nailed it. But then the debate happened, and we kind of, what the f***? What?
Yeah. Even in the press briefing room, that is now considered shark-infested waters, with the feeding frenzy taking chunks.
It's a very basic, direct question.
Wait. Hold on.
They're circling Kareem.
Wait a second.
Eight times, or at least once, in regards to the president specifically.
Hold on a second.
Not what you should be able to answer by this point.
Out of everyone's favorite DEI hire, Karine Jean-Pierre, as you saw there, the sharks have been seen now breaching the surface and are making her look more like a yummy baby seal sushi roll as they prepare for the main course. And we're talking about Joe Biden.
Yeah. The ocean turns red. In spite of all the pounding and the hollering, they all come in. They rip you to pieces.
Yes, and ripping the pieces they continue to do, with even Hollywood getting in on the act, with George Clooney sharing his latest unwanted guest opinion piece in the New York Times. He's becoming, well, I guess one of the latest Biden ass smoochers to finally burn it all and run into the shower for an attempt to clean off the stench of the last few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You better bring a lot of soap with you, George. Yeah. At this point, I think the only thing more dangerous than being in the water right now is if you're a homeless sex worker showing up at Paul Pelosi's house for a little game of bareback shark attack singing Baby Shark while dressed up like My Little Gay Pony. Yeah, and as usual, you can imagine all that naked thrashing about with his boy toy there. That probably had a hook in it or something, in his mouth during his Thursday night 2 a.m. Naked Hammer Fight Club party. So there you have it. And well, speaking of hooks in the mouth.
Well, the last time I saw a mouth like that, it had a hook
in it.
Yeah, Damon, back to you.
Hey. That was good.
All right, what even is that?
I kept thinking of Jimmy Buffett's fins when I was watching that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, too, when he was teasing it.
So there you have it.
All right, very good, Rick Delgado. Slick, what'd you think of Rodney?
Not bad. I like that jacket he's wearing. Yeah. Hey, I tell you, I got no respect over here.
He called me a baboon. He thought I was his wife.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
All right, very good, Rick Delgado. What even is that? So J. Robert Smith's asked today, can they cheat a dementia sufferer back into the White House over at the American Thinker? And he says, we're learning something valuable the last couple weeks. Censorship works better than gaslighting. But even that fails. Joe Biden's cognitive decline has been ongoing since at least 2019. If you didn't understand why Biden ran his 2020 campaign from his Wilmington rec room, well, now you know. COVID precautions was a convenient excuse. Biden wasn't ever going to draw a crowd like Trump did, so masking up and hanging out in front of his big screen was an easy dodge. But it was his deteriorating brain that kept him off the campaign trail. Dementia sufferers are easily confused and frustrated. They don't handle crowds and noise very well. Biden's handlers during the 2020 campaign and throughout his presidency have been tasked with keeping venues small and ensuring that Biden is enough removed that he won't become agitated. When he behaves bizarrely, babbling at the podium, turning to shake invisible people's hands, wandering off after his remarks, corporate media steps in to censor the fluffs. Conservative news and social media reveal the true Joe Biden. CNN and MSNBC audiences rarely saw the real Joe, though. When Biden is seen tripping up the stairs or falling off a bike, it's shrugged off as an old guy with an imbalance. Otherwise, corporate media audiences have had a steady diet of false narratives, falser than the whitewash of FDR's paralysis. But the debate shattered that narrative. As Michael Schellenberger pointed out at X, the video clips of a feeble Joe Biden that Karine Jean-Pierre trash-talked as cheap fakes have now blown up in their faces. Some reports suggest that Biden's fundraising is now tanking. The debate was a game-changing miscalculation. Conservative guessed that the D.C. establishment was setting up Biden to take a fall. If so, it's been a ham-handed bust. In all likelihood, elite conceit misled. On friendly turf, CNN's Atlanta studio, along with favorable rules and a week's worth of rest and prepping, and Lord knows what sort of high-octane drug mix of meds, the gamble was that Biden would acquit himself adequately. Instead, CNN and MSNBC viewers saw the unvarnished Biden. Gaped mouth, blanched, wandering at times in his responses, peeved, outmatched by a very cogent Donald Trump. The spin in the aftermath of the debate also failed. Biden didn't just have a bad night, regardless of what Joe said or Dr. Jill and South Carolina's U.S. Representative James Clyburn say. In fact, their spin is withering on the vine. Many millions of Americans have had or have elderly relatives or friends suffering dementia. No amount of gaslighting is persuading them that the Biden they watched isn't broken down.
Wow. I heard there's 100 million on the sidelines that won't go to Joe.
A little more about this, and then we'll do some sports when we get back live from Studio 6B right after this.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest won that year for Best Picture.
75.
Yeah.
Let's go back to my Let's go back to my
your article.
My
Crazy Town. There it is.
I said we're going to hold our opinions to ourselves. We don't know that there's any moment here. There may not be a moment. Let the audience. He could just be. Maybe he's listening to the Macarena in his ear. We don't know what he's doing.
Maybe he's practicing for a role as the Penguin in a new Batman movie.
Yes, exactly. It could
Let me
be.
tell you something. That role was inspired by that guy.
Okay, so we'll let the audience weigh in, and we'll check them in the social media. So this is one of the This is why you want to be on double screening the show. Watch the show on the network. Tonight you're going to get the president, but you want to be on social media with us because this is where you can weigh in. And
hey, Don Gendoli looks like he has a little hard gas.
Okay.
That was on YouTube.
Okay, so there's our first weigh in there.
Scott Overmeyer filled his socks.
Okay, there's our second one. So we'll go from there.
Hard gas.
Just one more time, G, just in case the audience did a good look. And if you're just joining us, let's one more time here. We're trying to figure out what is going on here. Crazy Town 122. Roll it, G.
Oh, there it is.
What do you call that? A telestrator?
How old are we? Welcome to Live from 6th grade Studio 6B. Look at the waddle. Oh, my God. Look, he was got to hold the podium. Look at this go. Rick, you nailed that.
Who did the Burgess Meredith right there? Is that you?
Oh, my God.
He walks like Mr. Tugboll from Carol Burnett.
Okay, there you go. So there's your second.
Look at his face. He's discussed himself.
Yeah. So, weigh in. Let us know. Delgado.
Oh my God, the show is off the rails when David is behaving this way too.
Well, Delgado thinks he knows what happened, but we'll wait for the audience to weigh in. So
yes, we're waiting for them. We're not saying anything.
I don't even want to know. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if I want to know. All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Sounds like the Blues, which means, well, what does it mean? It means I have to read something, but I have to be able to find it to be able to read it. Who am I reading tonight? Birch Gold. If you weren't following the news, a massive hit to the U.S. dollar just came in June when Saudi Arabia did not renew its 50-year petrodollar deal with the U.S. Since 1974, Saudi Arabia has sold oil solely in U.S. dollars. And that was huge to our global economic dominance. Now they want options other than the U.S. dollar. So I ask you, if there's less demand for the dollar, what happens to the dollar? Well, look, it's reasons like this that Americans turn to the Birch Gold Group. For over 20 years, Birch Gold has helped tens of thousands of Americans protect their savings by converting an IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold. To learn more, text the word America to 989898 and claim your free information, no obligation kit on gold. Text America to the number 989898. Birch Gold has earned their trust with the education-first approach they take. Their thousands of happy customers, their countless 5-star reviews. Protect your savings with gold before the dollar plunges any further. Text America to 989898 and do it today. Well, are you frustrated by the relentless legal attacks on President Trump? These tactics, known as lawfare, threaten our justice system. Many view these battles as attempts to hinder political rivals rather than pursuing true justice. It's overwhelming, but there is a way to respond, and that, of course, is by joining AMAC. Go to amac.us/Studio6B. As a member of AMAC, you become part of an organization committed to ensuring our judicial system serves justice, not political agendas. AMAC is your voice to combat those who misuse our legal framework for political ends, standing strong in defense of fairness. Sign up today for just $1 for your first year. $1 for your first year. amac.us/Studio 6B. By joining, you'll be part of a community that champions the rule of law, protects our constitutional rights. With over 2 million members, AMAC is a formidable advocate for justice. Don't miss out. Take advantage of this limited time offer. $1 for your first year. Go to amac.us/Studio 6B. amac.us/Studio 6B and take advantage of this just crazy offer. $1 for your first 365 days. Check it out, amac.us/Studio 6B. All right, 19 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Great savings off the great stuff from Mike Lindell over at mypillow.com/LFS6B. Slick, what's going on?
Action right now. Dodgers are in Detroit, taking on the Tigers, tied at 3, top of the 9th. Good one there. Athletics 6-2 over the Phillies, bottom 9. Top of the 9th, the Rays blanking the Guardians 2-0. Yankees continue to lead the Orioles 3-1, heading to the 8th inning. Mets over the Rockies 7-3, bottom 7. Top of the 9th, Royals over the Red Sox 6-1. Cincinnati Reds 7-3 over the Marlins, bottom of the 8th. Top of the 6th, Pirates lead the White Sox 2-1 in Chicago. Astros blanking the Rangers 2-0 down in Houston, middle of the 5th. Bottom 4, Nationals continue to lead the Brewers 3-2. Cubs over the Cardinals 2-0. That's in the bottom of the 4th. Final from earlier today, Rays 2-0 over the Guardians. Mariners, Angels, Braves, Padres, Blue Jays, Diamondbacks, and Twins, Giants all coming up between 9:40 and 10:15. First pitches out on the West Coast. I get over to a couple of stories. Well, how about this one? Cleaning house here. France ships homeless migrants out of Paris before Olympics. Jean Haywood, oh my God. The administration of French President Emmanuel Macron is reportedly loading homeless immigrants onto buses by the thousands and shipping them to the United States. No, shipping them out of Paris ahead of the Olympics. Some of the relocated immigrants said they were falsely promised homes in other cities to lure them onto the buses. Dirty propaganda. Macron's problem is that the Olympic Village was constructed in the notoriously shabby, overcrowded, and crime-ridden Parisian suburb of Saint-Denis. Le Mans describes the site of the village as a cluster of former industrial wastelands renovated at staggering expense during the 6-year construction of the Olympic Village. The village itself was touted as a marvel of sustainable development with over 2,800 housing units, 80,000 square meters of office space, and enough shops and parks to accommodate some 24,000 athletes and support personnel during the games. One of the chief designs was to allow athletes to sleep, dine, and relax within minutes of their training facilities. Another goal was to meet the strict demands of the Paris Climate Accords, which, among other things, requires a generous allocation of ground space to parks, fountains, and pools. Extensive use of low-carbon and recycled construction materials was mandated. French officials clearly hoped the $1.85 billion poured into the Olympic Village would revitalize the surrounding neighborhood, transforming no-sign zones into welcome zones, as Saint-Denis Mayor Matteau Hanaton put it in the left-wing New York Times in February. The nearby stock of dilapidated social housing is being revamped. New roads, bridges, cycling paths, blah, 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 blah. The answer so far seems to be not really. The glumly reported on Thursday that French officials have resorted to simply shoveling the huge numbers of homeless immigrant men living around the Olympic Village into buses and carting them off into other towns where they can remain discreetly invisible during the Olympics. So cleaning house, Big D, so to speak. The article continues to go on and on and on. Boy, big homeless issue over there in France. So
what were they saying about Saint-Denis?
They were saying that it was at one time shabby, but then now they've built it up. They built up an Olympic Village.
That was home to French royalty for centuries.
Yeah, well, they said it went. I guess it took a big decline over the last few years. Now they rebuilt it up and they're shipping the homeless out. So done in nice fashion, promising them nice homes, and well, you know how that goes. All right, Big D, that's a wrap in sports.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. A couple things I'm seeing on social media tonight. If you're wondering where the left is after the big press conference, Jennifer Rubin from the Washington Post says the chances of Biden now stepping down are close to zero. If you want to keep shouting for him to get out, whatever. 2 weeks of that got him to dig in. Now he's killing it. You can recognize his strengths, focus on fascism, or spend the next 100 days complaining that Biden should have left and effectively mimicking Trump. Do as you will. You're frankly delusional if you think screaming at him, especially now, serves any useful purpose. And then tonight, after Biden spoke in Detroit, this was Chris Hayes right after he got off the stage.
That was the President of the United States, Joseph Robinette Biden, holding a very spirited campaign rally in Detroit, Michigan tonight. We just took that live, clocking in around 30 minutes before a exuberant crowd. I am Chris Hayes here in New York. I'm joined by my colleague Joy Reid, of course, the host of The Readout, just before me. And Joy, I want to first get my first read on this. And again, I think we've been honest throughout about the various performances we've seen from this president, from the debate, the Stephanopoulos interview,
looking for a baby seal to
the press conference. You know, that was by far, I think, the best performance he's given since the State of the Union, and looked like that's the Joe Biden that has been a very successful politician and won in 2020.
I will say this: it was the best performance we've seen actually since the Waffle House a half an hour after that disastrous debate. And the reason I throw the Waffle House in there is that a half an hour after that performance, he walked into a Waffle House in Atlanta and came alive. You know why?
Right.
Because there were people in there. Whoever on the Biden staff made the deal to have him do a debate with no crowd and no people to respond and to bounce off of, that person should reevaluate their entire career.
Really?
Wow. Coming from Joy Reid.
Yeah. Who shouldn't have a career?
Right. We're live in the chat.
What's up, chatters? Let's see. I'm in the X chat, but I lost it. Let me go back. Oh, live from Studio 6B. Wrong picture. There we go. Man, I really needed that Celsius. It woke me up.
So you're going to continue the Crazy Town? Because I don't think it finished, right?
Oh.
I had a feeling it didn't.
It's almost done.
What's up, Dave Syverson? Nola.
Aaron, you want to throw this back up?
Mika Trumpington.
Close. What the audience says.
That was a push fart.
What the audience says.
That was one of the funniest moments.
Oh my God. They dropped the diaper biscuit. Shadow short.
Oh.
All right, let's go.
We go. Come on, we got.
All right, let's drop this subject. Let's go.
All right, that was the rails are off.
Kimberly.
His face. He makes his face.
He lost his noodles.
All right, well, there's important news we have to get to. So
Yes,
I have another
yes.
Crazy Town. Won't be as good as that one, obviously.
Kimberly Holcomb said it's the curly shuffle. Couldn't you get it?
It's a curly what?
It's a curly
shuffle.
That was brutal. Brutal.
Oh, that was funny. That was 3 years ago, huh?
Damn.
Man. Where did that go?
Boy, I'll tell you, they're out in full force tonight.
Yeah.
Biden ain't going anywhere. All of you jumped off the bandwagon or welcome back in.
A lot of people I talked to thought he was horrible last night.
I think when you look back at it,
Zelensky, Putin, and
it was embarrassing when you look back at it. But I think he was better than he's been.
Which isn't saying a whole lot.
That's what Project 2020
the bar is so low for this guy.
25 is calling about. That's what Project 2024-25 is calling about. Project 2025 will deploy the Department.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. Hope you have a great weekend, everybody. Aaron and Fran holding it down. Slick was doing sports. David Zier is going to do some more news, but let's start the news with Rick Delgado. What's going on?
All right. Well, we'll change gears just a little bit before we circle back to Joe Biden. This story coming out of Politico, I don't know if you caught this. The jury is now going to work. I'm talking about the jury for Senator Bob Menendez, whose fate is now in the hands of a Manhattan jury. We kind of forgot about this story a little bit because, well, let's face it, we've been kind of caught up with Joe Biden and his debacle and his life. But the case against Bob Menendez and his wife has now gone to the jury for the New Jersey senator who has been embroiled in this after 9 weeks and well over 1 million words of testimony and lawyer arguments. The jurors are now deliberating as of this afternoon. They're going to decide whether a sprawling year-long federal investigation and high-stakes political prosecution is a righteous takedown of a corrupt New Jersey Democrat or a catastrophic misguided waste of time. I'm going to save for the first one. Their decision will determine the fate of the famed New Jersey politician who has a 50-year career. At 70, a guilty verdict could very well mean Menendez will spend the rest of his life in prison, but an acquittal or hung jury, like in his 2017 trial, would amount to a historic and extraordinary legal feat for a senator who has long accused the Justice Department of hunting him. The jury left for the weekend, and afterwards Menendez says, "I have faith in God and the jury," and it's because, he was arrested, you might remember, for a series of overlapping schemes to disrupt state and federal criminal investigations, help Egypt obtain American military aid in exchange for cash and gold found when the FBI searched his home. The 12 jurors, including a doctor and retired economist, have the daunting task ahead to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, 18 separate charges against Menendez. A pair of business people and his own wife, a third business person, has already pleaded guilty in the case and testified against Menendez. And his wife, she's going to be tried separately because of her breast cancer diagnosis. So we'll see what happens. They were given 4 hours of jury instructions, and now they're off to do their duty and see what they come back with.
Speaking of juries and courts, did you see Alec Baldwin today? These charges get dismissed
That was my
involuntary
next story.
manslaughter.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, this guy shoots and kills somebody, and he gets off on a technicality. And Trump, they're looking to put him in prison for 100 years because they mislabeled a bookkeeping error.
Or Alex Jones gets $1.5 billion fine for free speech.
Yeah, according to this, Baldwin's lawyers, it could have been the same thing.
Freudian.
Alec Baldwin broke down in tears and hugged his wife as his involuntary manslaughter case was sensationally dismissed, which doesn't mean he's not guilty.
Right.
They can still bring the charges back. But this case is now over without going to the jury. The judge in the court in Santa Fe, Mexico, said there had been errors by the prosecution in the handling of evidence, which she said impacted the fundamental fairness of the case. The extraordinary decision came after a day-long hearing without the jury present over bullets that should have been put into evidence. Baldwin's lawyers claimed that they were concealed from them and buried in another case file. The issue upended the trial of Baldwin, 66, who pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Shortly after the decision was read, Alex's actor brother, Stephen Baldwin, shared on his Instagram a cryptic religious message showing a speaker talk of how the whole court system can condemn you for the rest of your life. So there you have it. He's not guilty. It's just that there were, as the court described, there were problems in the prosecution's case, so they won't be pressing forward with it. Now, circling back to Joe Biden, what's your name over there? The guy who runs the show on Saturday over there, David Zier. He mentioned the Super PAC holding back $90 million from Joe Biden. This Super PAC is basically saying as long as Joe Biden is at the top of the ticket, Future Forward, the Super PAC we're talking about, is holding $90 million back from the campaign. The frozen contributions include multiple eight-figure commitments, according to the two people who spoke on the condition of anonymity. Given the sensitivity to the situation, the decision to withhold such enormous sums of money is one of the most concrete examples of the fallout from Mr. Biden's poor debate performance. Future Forward declined any more comment on the conversations with donors or the amounts of any pledged money with being withheld. A Future Forward advisor would say only that the group expected contributors who had paused donations to return once the current uncertainty about the ticket was resolved. And after what we saw with, Biden calling President Trump his vice president, introducing Vladimir Zelensky as President Putin, and any number of other gaffes and misspeakings that this guy does, just solidifies that the people on one side, the Obama side, don't want him anymore. And of course, he's got his friends on his side, his family and the I guess the old codgers just like him who want him to stay in the race, all to protect him. And it makes you wonder, because what this guy, if he steps aside as the candidate, will he continue on as president? Now, a lot of people are saying he shouldn't continue on they want him to step down as president. We're getting this from Democrats in the House, which the number went past 20 today of the amount of Democrats that want him to leave, and for good reason, because this guy, if there's that, and you remember that the question for Karine Jean-Pierre in the press briefing room the other day, talking about, from Peter Doocy, hey, if that nuclear call comes in at 11 p.m., what's he going to do?
He went to bed at 8.
And she says, well, he has a team.
Yeah.
But he's the president. He's the one that makes the decision. And then it makes you think, well, if he's not responding, what's going to happen? Well, according to this from Ann Jacobson, if something like that were to happen, now I know it's Friday. I don't want to ruin your weekend, but I think we got to talk about something that's a little scary, and that's the security of this nation with Joe Biden at the top. And let's face it, this is the guy we rely on. Right now, we have to rely on him to protect us. They say he can't do that when he's asleep because, well, there's only a few hours in the day he's actually coherent enough to actually do the job. Yeah. Here's what author Ann Jacobson said. If something like a nuclear war broke out, here's what we'd have to look forward to. This is cut number 4A. Check this out.
I began to think, what happens if deterrence fails? That idea of prevention. What happens? And I took that question to the people who advise the president, who work at Stratcom, who, command the nuclear sub forces, and learned that it doesn't end well. Not only does it not end well, 5 billion people are dead at the end of 72 minutes.
72 minutes.
Jesus. Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of people in nuclear command and control who practice 24/7, 365. What would happen if deterrence failed and we had a nuclear war? They are practicing this, Joe. And it's like, talk about being behind the veil. No one knows it. It's why I think the response to this book, it's been out for 3 months, has been so extraordinary. And from both sides of the aisle. Because people now are beginning to realize if nuclear war begins, it doesn't end until there is a nuclear holocaust.
Yeah. And the whole Cold War was about mutually assured destruction from Robert McNamara, Defense Secretary in the 60s, holding each other's populations hostage. But the U.S. won the Cold War because of that initiative. That extra 15 minutes from those Pershing missiles that could hit Moscow before their ICBMs could hit New York, that whole thing, every second counts, right?
Yeah. And like she said, it's about deterrence. And what do we see from this president is that Russia was not deterred from going into Ukraine. Hamas was not deterred from attacking Israel. And, all our enemies are not deterred by linking up with other enemies and creating a real problem for the country.
Rick, it also might go back to Michigan, an aggregate of the biggest 5 polls recently, I think, only have a dead heat in Michigan for Biden. So after his performance today in Michigan, I don't think that helps Biden supporters.
Yeah,
so
but
maybe
I think the scariest,
maybe the calls for him to step down will escalate.
Yeah, I think the scariest thing though is what she said. It's only going to take 72 minutes for most of everybody on this planet to be annihilated. That's the scary part. And we got to wait 60 minutes before this guy even gets rousted out of bed and gets jacked up with some drugs so he can make a coherent decision.
I can get that last episode of Better Call Saul in.
Yeah.
Wait, you were saying, what about Biden's performance today in Michigan? Doesn't help him? Everybody was extremely excited about it.
I don't think he did well. We played the 3 videos.
Well, I think not you were when he was at that place, but I'm talking about the speech he gave in wherever.
Right.
The main speech.
Different events, but that event, I don't think he did very well.
Yeah, the problem for Biden, real quick, and I'll just throw this in, is that most of the people these days are getting just clips, and what they're getting are the gaffes. They're getting, here's Mr. Putin, here's this is my Vice President Trump. They're getting all that stuff. They don't have time to watch a 30-minute speech in front of a bunch of wackos in Michigan.
Well, also, as we said, we know he's a disaster physically, but it's always comes back to the policies. It's the policies that are dangerous. It's the policies that are terrible. And no matter if it's him or her, the policies remain the same, if not get worse.
Sure.
So I think that's the thing voters need to remember.
It almost doesn't matter who the Democratic candidate is.
No, it's just only a matter of how bad they're going to be.
Well, how manipulable they are.
Yeah. All right. Anything else in the news, Rick? Right?
Nope. That's all I got.
All right. Let's do a little. We'll do a little news with David Zier, and then we'll do some more when we get back. Mr. Zier, what's going on?
Well, I have 2 videos here. I believe one is cut number 1 from my special with Trevor Loudon. I don't know if we have time for them right now. So I maybe I'll save that. I don't have any other stories except for my last 2 videos with Trevor Loudon. So I just think that
we can play those when we get back.
Yeah, I think we should. So I don't have any. I do have The View. Cut number 9, Project 2025. Joey Behar. You can always count on her for a laugh.
But a lot of people don't know about it, so I'm here to tell you what it is. It's a far-right plan for destroying democracy that Trump's team wants to implement on day 1. Let me count the ways. They want to ban abortion, starve school children, eliminating breakfast and lunch for school kids.
She's sick.
They want to have mass deportations of immigrants. They want to gut health care. This is all just for starters, okay? And this is part of their platform.
Yeah, that's always a treat. Every day, that's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, into that.
But yeah, I'll have more for you when we come back.
Just that level of
wants to starve children.
Yeah, they want to get the free lunch.
It's just a sickness. It's just a sickness. All right, a couple more clips from David Zier, a little more sports with Slick. We'll wrap it up for a Friday night live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this.
I have two clips there, 3 minutes and 50 total, but I think you'll like them from Trevor Loudon. One is about Mitch McConnell and the Chi-Com connection. And the other explains the communist link to the PLO and Hamas. Who's saying hi here? Hello, Sue. Is Clint your friend? Clint Legite? That's how you say his name? Legit?
Too legit.
Too good. Like, wasn't that a song by MC Hammer? Too legit to quit. Too legit. Abra.
You know what sucks is that you're gonna make me look that song up.
Abra, Delgado.
I used to play that on the piano. Where did you grow up, Damon?
I don't know. Connecticut.
In Hartford, was it? Yeah. West. Was it West?
I grew up in Norwalk.
When did you come to Long Island? Oh.
Been here a while. You never went back, huh, Big D?
What's up, AZ Mikey?
Fell in love with Long Island.
Oh, what did I do? I hung up on the chat. How did I do that? Okay, yeah, I'll get it out quick. It was very educational, so.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do a little more news with the host of Breaking Point tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. right here on Real America's Voice. David Zier, what else you got?
Well, tomorrow morning I'm airing that special with Trevor Loudon. You got to watch it. Really informative, very educational. I got two cuts for you in a row. One about Chi-Com and Mitch McConnell and the Chinese connection. Let's go to cut number 2. Frank, how are you?
Fine. My name is Frank Prococo. I have a question with respect to the problem that the Democrats have with respect to how progressive they've gotten and socialistic. What is the extent of the problem in the Republican Party, and have they been infiltrated by Manchurian candidates?
Yeah, well, look, the Republicans have always had a few communist members, like Jacob Javits, the New York senator years ago. You know, but also what has really happened with the Republicans, as the Democrats have gone left, the Republicans have tried to Me Too it all the time. So they've just drifted to the left. But then you have a lot of Chinese money coming into the Republican Party. See, the communists get the Democrats through ideology and money. They get the Republicans through money. And Mitch McConnell is the absolute epitome of that. He's married to a woman whose family has made billions of dollars carrying communist Chinese goods all around the world. And Mitch McConnell has gone out of his way to sabotage MAGA candidates every single chance he gets, because the MAGA movement is the only thing standing between us and Chinese communism dominating this country. So he has been working in their interests. And so, yes, you'll find a lot of Republican governors, a lot of Republican legislators in certain states who are involved with Chinese companies. They will allow Chinese land ownership.
We can come out of that. I just wanted to tease that. Very educational. And cut number 1, explaining the watermelon. Green on the outside for Islam, red on the inside for communism. Check it out. This is important. Our mutual acquaintance, Richie Higgins, who's in the National Security Council, wrote a paper, talked about the watermelon, and God rest his soul. He passed away, but he was great. And McMaster let him go. He was under the Trump administration.
Fired him, didn't let him go. He
fired him, and Trump loved what Richie Higgins was saying during the administration about the watermelon. It's green on the outside for Islamo, activity, and red in the middle for communism, Marxism. Explain that relationship.
Well, if you look at all of these, this is finally in the open. You look at all those protests we've seen, pro-Hamas protests on colleges all over America. They are run by CARE, Council on American Islamic Relations, run by the Marxist Nihad Awad, the Students for Justice in Palestine, set up by another Marxist, and Muslim Student Association, which is basically the Muslim Brotherhood operating in America. So you got this green side, but then they're working with Young Democratic Socialists America, Communist Party USA, Party for Socialism and Liberation, Liberation Road, and all the communist groups. All of these protests are being run by Islamist and communist groups working together. But we need to understand this has been going on since the early days of the Bolshevik Revolution.
Yeah.
And when the Bolsheviks took over Russia, they suppressed the Christian churches, but they didn't dare do that to the mosques. So they infiltrated the mosques and produced Soviet Islam. That became the Palestine Liberation Organization. It became Al-Qaeda. It became Hamas. It became Hezbollah. It became the leaders of Iran. All of these major Muslim radical terrorist groups have communist ties, every single one of them.
Yeah, so DVR breaking point tomorrow, because now you can argue with your crazy Aunt Sally at the Thanksgiving table and have all the facts.
There you go.
That's what I got.
All right, David Zier, very good. Breaking point tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. right here. Slick, let's do a little more sports before we wrap it up. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. MyPillow, mypillow.com/LFS6B for all the best deals for this audience. And, of course, promo code LFS6B at checkout. Slick, what's going on?
All right, well, we talked about it a little bit earlier with Harrison Butker, but again, the ESPYs last night, pure cringe. Serena Williams slam for bashing Harrison Butker at ESPYs. Amy Furr of the Breitbart. Tennis star Serena Williams took a jab Thursday at Kansas City Chief kicker Harrison Butker, whose commencement speech in May upset leftists. Her comments came during the 2024 ESPY Awards show when her sister Venus Williams, and actress Quentin Brunson took the stage to honor women's sports at the Dolby Theater in L.A. TMZ reported Friday, noting Butker was also in attendance. Video footage shows Venus telling the crowd to enjoy women's sports like any other sports because they are sports, to which Serena added, "Except you, Harrison Butker, we don't need you." Brunson then said, "At all, like ever," as the crowd cheered. Man, made the guy feel bad. Social media users were quick to share their thoughts, one person calling it pure cringe, while another deemed it tacky. In May, Butker delivered the commencement speech at Benedictine College, in which he blasted President Joe Biden's pro-abortion stance, urged male students to embrace their masculinity, and told women to embrace marriage and motherhood, Breitbart News reported. Despite the backlash, Butker showed no regrets for his speech during his first subsequent public appearance at the Courage Under Fire Gala in Nashville, Tennessee, which the Regina Cayley Academy hosted. And went on to talk about his response, of course, about his love of Jesus and what he was trying to really clarify what he said, which is really no harm. But, just kind of, that's typical of the left. I'm sure they're having fun, kind of like the Tom Brady roast, but not really a cool thing. And former NBA player accuses LeBron James of abuse of power after Lakers draft his son, Dylan Gwynn, at Breitbart. This is really starting to blow up. LeBron James earned plenty of criticism when the Lakers drafted his son, Bronny, with the 55th overall pick in the NBA draft. However, one former player isn't merely making accusations of nepotism. He's calling the pick a straight-up abuse of power. Stephen Hunter, a journeyman NBA player who played from 2002 to 2010, took to social media to accuse the biggest name in basketball, LeBron James, James of an abuse of power, not only for the Lakers drafting his son 55th overall, a selection many believed him not worthy of, but also for awarding him with a lucrative contract far beyond what most second-round NBA picks would ever receive. His son so far out of the gate is not playing well at all, Big D. I don't even know if he's going to make the team. I really don't know, unless he just carries LeBron's water. So, and that's a wrap in sports. Big Wimbledon on Sunday. You want to definitely see Alcaraz and Djokovic. That's going to be a big one.
Thanks, Slick. Douglas MacArthur, Colonel Douglas MacArthur, has put out a video tonight calling for the removal of Joe Biden as a grave national security threat. If you could throw this up, Aaron, here's a little bit of that.
Combat veteran, a father with a son who graduated from the Naval Academy, and 2 nephews currently serving in the armed forces, I feel compelled by a profound sense of duty to urge President Biden's removal from office. Yesterday at the NATO summit, President Biden made a series of alarming errors, mistakenly referring to President Zelensky as President Putin and Vice President Harris as Vice President Trump. These are not mere slips of the tongue. They are glaring indicators of a cognitive decline that cannot be ignored. Our national security is at stake. Every day that President Biden remains in office, we risk further jeopardizing the safety and stability of our country. The role of the president demands sharpness, clarity, and decisiveness, qualities that are essential to navigate the complex and often perilous landscape of global politics. Unfortunately, it has become painfully clear that President Biden no longer possesses these attributes. This is not a partisan issue. It is a matter of national security and integrity. We must put aside our political differences and come together for the greater good of our country. The president's cognitive capacity is severely diminished, and it is our responsibility to ensure that the highest office in the land is occupied by someone who is fully capable of fulfilling its demands.
Yeah. And that kind of goes to what you were talking about before, Delgado.
Yeah, Damon, I did a spot on American Sunrise this morning about DEI. Our land forces are down 7% at a time of global instability, and the Navy only met 74% of its recruiting goals last year.
All right, there you go. As always, we salute all of our emergency personnel. Thanks, everybody on the show. Aaron, Frank, great job as always. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday night, 8 p.m. right here live from Studio 6B.